Hey guys, it's Miss Pridmore, and today we're going to start with our first virtual online writing lesson. But before we begin today's lesson, I wanted to draw your attention back to a lesson that we started before we went on this little hiatus. I won't call it a break because we're still learning every single day. But before we started virtual learning, we were talking about opinion writing. And Miss Pridmore had given you kind of a formula to get you started for your introduction, right? And we said, based on the articles blank and blank, I think blank is better than blank, right? So this highlighted piece here was our opinion statement, right? Well, this was how we can respond to two different articles. But yesterday, I had asked you to start writing in your journals about your opinion about virtual school. Do you like distance learning better, or do you like in-person learning better, like at school? Sometimes you might hear it called brick and mortar. Brick and mortar meaning like the bricks that they might have made schools with back in the day, like when Miss Pridmore was a kid a million years ago. Okay, so we're going to decide today which you think is better, and then we're going to start writing your opinion piece. So if you're in your writing journal, I need you to turn to your next blank page. I know you started a draft yesterday, yesterday during your Daily 5 centers. I'm going to ask you, you can refer back to some of the ideas that you did on that, but I'm going to ask you to turn to your next blank page, even though you may have started, so that we can all be on the same page, so to speak. Laugh out loud. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to date it at the top. That way we know when we started this piece. And then we're going to write opinion essay at the top. This is just for Miss Pridmore, so that when I'm looking through your journal, I know what I'm looking at, okay? Now, in the front of your, no, not in the front, in maybe 3 or 4 pages back, you should have a paper that looks something like this, right? We said this was going to be kind of our reference for opinion writing. Now, here is talking about making sure that you read both articles carefully, but you are not reading articles today, are we? No. So if you still have this top part, you can fold it down. I think most of you I had cut that part out anyway. So most of you shouldn't be seeing that top portion. But let's look at the parts of opinion writing. We know we need to make an introduction, right? And that we need to make an introduction and state our opinion. Okay, that was the highlighted sentence from before. Then we're going to write our body. And if you'll remember, Miss Pridmore said you want to try to get at least 3 reasons to support your opinion, right? And then you want to expand those reasons, or elaborate, we call it, okay? I'll show you how. Now this says support your opinion by evidence from the article, but we're not doing this based on an article today, are we? No, we're doing this based on your own experience. So that's going to be even easier for you. And then finally, you want to write your conclusion, making sure that your last sentence is a concluding statement, right? Now, you may remember that we have talked about the hamburger, right? Meaning the top bun is the introduction. Don't you laugh at my burger. The hamburger patty is the body, and then that bottom bun is the conclusion. That's a really sad looking hamburger right there. but you guys are sweet to me, so we'll keep moving on, okay? So, what's the first part again? That's right, the introduction. And the part I like here is that it does remind you want to grab the reader's attention, and then you want to tell them what your opinion is, okay? So how can we start talking about both ways that you could go to school? Think about it for just a minute. Yeah. So you could maybe mention that, unlike when Miss Pridmore was a kid, there are more than one way, there's more than one way to get an education, right? So we could say that. How would we say that in a way that would grab our reader's attention? Oh, I feel a question coming on. You could say, did you know that there is more than one way kids can go to school? Okay? I think that might be a great attention grabber. Because grown-ups like me would be like, what do you mean? They can walk to school or take the bus? No, right? Uh-oh, what did I do here that I shouldn't have done? Yeah, I didn't indent very well, did I? And I didn't even give it a title. Come on, Miss Pridmore. It's late, you guys. What are we going to name this? How about the best way to learn? And notice that I put a capital letter on each of the beginning letters of each word. Okay, the best way to learn. Okay, now I'm going to indent, which means I give a little bit of a space. Let me make sure that you can see this very well. Here is my margin line, that red line. Harper, you do not need to highlight it. I want to give myself an empty line here, an empty row, and then I'm going to start here. I find the margin line and I move about my thumb width over, okay? So I'll start right here, okay? And I'm going to do an opening question. Did you know there's a contraction right here? There is. That's why I need this apostrophe, right? There's more than one. Notice I put my next word because just the first sentence of the paragraph is indented, right? So this word one is going to come all the way back to the margin line. There's more than one way to go to school. Ooh, that is a good opening question, right? Did you know there's more than one way to go to school? Okay, guys, so what are the two ways that we can go to school? You could go the traditional way, right, and go to the school building, or you could take online classes and learn through your computer. Okay, so let's state that for our reader very clearly. I've thought of a different sentence just as I was saying. So you are, your, with that our apostrophe to show the contraction, you're probably familiar with the traditional way to go to school. That word traditional means the way most people have done it over and over again, right? Probably familiar with the traditional way to go to school. Students go to an actual school building to attend their classes. I know, guys, I know I'm going fast. The best part of virtual learning is you can always pause your video so that you can catch up with Miss Pridmore. And do you have to copy me exactly? No, you don't have to copy it. We call this verbatim, meaning every word is the exact same as Miss Pridmore's. You can put this in your own words. I'm just writing what comes to my head, okay? So students go to an actual school building to attend their classes. Okay. But did you know students can learn right from their own houses? Okay. Now, that's a pretty long introduction statement, and I have not even given my opinion. So, here's what you need to do. You need to decide, which way do you think is best?